Hello, this time we're doing something a little different. Instead of a podcast, we're bringing you a vodcast, and I have the yoga club instructor here, Ava, and she's gonna help lead us through some yoga moves and talk about the yoga club so that you can get your mind and bodies relaxed before finals. So Ava, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You just kind of want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Sure, so my name is Ava Torres. I'm a sophomore entrepreneurial studies major, and I am founder and president of Yoga Club.
Cool. Yeah, so as she does some moves and kind of talks us through them, I'm going to be asking her some questions about yoga and how she got started and how you can get involved. So if you want to take it away,
Sure.
Show me what you do here.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we're going to start in a standing position about midway into our mat, and we're going to start in our mountain pose. So our feet are about hips distance apart, palms facing each other, eyes can rest closed, just finding a relaxing position. Our thighs are engaged, rolling up. Glutes are relaxed, core is engaged. Just becoming aware of the natural breath here, relaxing into this moment, preparing for our practice. I like to set an intention for our class, focusing on positive things. So whatever that may be, whatever you want to focus on today, take some time, focus in on that intention, and prepare for your class. When we're ready, we'll start to incorporate our Ujjayi controlled breathing with a slight constriction in the back of the throat. Inhale and exhale through the nose. It'll sound like an ocean's wave. With our next inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips, lead with the chest. Half lift on our inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, crown of the head reaches down. Bringing a slight bend to the knees. Inhale, we slowly stack the vertebrae to rise, coming back to our mountain. At the top, roll the shoulders up and back. And we'll take a moment, check in. How are you feeling?
Good, that was good.
Good.
My mind already, as you were talking about relaxing through the fingers and everything, I could just feel my body.
Oh, great.
And you kind of start to sway.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your position. How did you start this club then, since you are the founder?
Yes, so I was actually a freshman when I first started the club, and my community assistant, when I moved in my freshman year, was getting interested in yoga, and I was just finishing up my certification, and so she said, you know, what if you started a club? And I thought that was crazy, especially as a freshman. And so she kind of helped me walk through it, helps me get the paperwork and everything, and it ends up being a very simple process. And so I've helped a few other students go through that process, and it's really an empowering thing to go through. It's super fun too. And so, yeah, we went and got the paperwork, kind of worked through it together, worked with other groups and built that constitution. And then it really just naturally, people started, yoga club, word got around, people were interested and came to me, and we built the club from there.
That's really cool.
Simple, yeah.
So how many years have you been doing this then?
This is our second year.
Second year.
Yeah.
Good. I think it's awesome that students have this opportunity to get more involved. So how would they, hear about yoga club or be able to find out when classes are, where classes are? Where can they find that information?
Yeah, so we table every semester. Usually at the beginning of the semester, we'll be in the union once, hopefully a couple times throughout the beginning, like first month or so. But otherwise, the experiential expo at the beginning of the year, we were there and we got over 150 signed up for our email chain. So that was really great. But we do have a really great email chain, and so otherwise you can find my contact information directly, and I'll get you added, and you get constant reminders. Maybe a little annoying, but you'll get, yeah, exactly. So you'll get reminders, and I usually send out polls to make sure that the times work for as many people as possible.
Sure, and is that a free class for students?
It is, yes. So
right here in the wellness?
It is,
yes.
Yep. We're
Cool.
in Studio A this semester, hoping to be in Studio B next semester.
Cool. All right, let's do a couple more more
Perfect.
moves here.
Absolutely. All right, we're gonna stay planted in our mountain pose here. We're gonna stay firm on that right foot. So with our next inhale, sweep the arms up, left leg will follow, one-legged mountain, keeping those shoulders relaxed down the spine. Exhale, press that left heel to the back of the mat, warrior three. Our body is parallel, slight bend in the right knee. Left foot is flexed to help with balance. And with our next inhale, we're gonna lower the left foot to the back of the mat, rising, warrior one. Dialing down the back ankle about 45 degrees. Nice job. Hips are square to the front of the room, staying low in the front knee. And exhale, humble warrior. Run those arms down the ribs, chest folds over the right thigh. Core is engaged, stay lifted. Building strength in our foundation. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, fold, frame the front foot. With our inhale, we're gonna step back to plank. Exhale, slowly lower chaturanga all the way down. Inhale, rise, cobra, press into the palms, elbows squeezing towards center. Exhale, tuck the toes, press the hips back, downward facing dog. Nice job. Inhale as we gaze to the hands, travel to the top of our mat to our half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center.
So how did you get involved with yoga, and what was the process to become a yoga instructor?
So I started practicing when I was 11 years old, so very young, and I really don't remember what happened to get me interested. I didn't really have any exposure. Nobody in my family practiced or anything like that. But I just remember going up to my parents and saying I wanted to try this. Maybe I saw a picture on social media or something, I don't know. And so I went to a class with my neighbor, and then I got 2 CDs for Christmas one year. And so I ended up doing the same 2 classes for 4 years. Wow. And so it was very repetitive, and that's all I knew yoga was. And so I was ready for a change. And so I just started teaching myself for a little while and creating my own practices, and I really fell in love with that. So I knew I wanted to be a teacher, but getting into training and finding where those happen is pretty challenging. And so starting that process, I was going into high school and I was trying to find a studio in Des Moines, where I was from. And so I ended up, by my senior year of high school is when I was able to find a studio that offered a training, and it's a 200-hour training, so it's a bit of a commitment. And so, yeah, by the time I found one that I could do and commit to, I was a senior in high school, and it was a 9-month period, 20-hour weekends, and I just put everything I could into it, and I graduated in September of 2018, and I've just fallen in love every day with it even more, and yeah, that's how I got here.
Maybe show us one more move here before we start to wrap things up.
Yes.
What do you got in your pocket?
All right, so probably the most famous, or I should say infamous, pose that people know is, of course, tree pose.
Okay.
And so as you said, language, I immediately went to that. So the language that is used with yoga is actually Sanskrit, and so it is an entirely different language. And so you do learn it a little bit in training, but it's so complicated, and there are so many different words to learn that a lot of teachers don't usually incorporate it, but you remember the few that are really easy. And so tree pose is actually Trikonasana. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start in our mountain pose here, hands down at the side or at heart center. We can start by kickstanding whichever foot is more comfortable. And then if we'd like, we can move that foot up to the shin. And if we have the space, we can bring that foot to the inner thigh of the opposite leg. And again, this is tree pose, Trikonasana. The biggest thing we see a lot of people is put that foot on the inner knee. We want to make sure to avoid that joint. It's very unhealthy. So make sure to go above or below the knee. And make sure that right knee is pulling back, opening the hips. We can find a focal point on the ground or the wall, in front of us to help with balance. If you'd really like to test your balance, you can close your eyes. Some days I can, some days I can't. And then with an inhale, release that leg, return down to mountain. Great job.
Wow. Yeah, even when I just stood with 2 legs and my eyes closed, I was already swaying, so 1 leg is a challenge. But I'm sure you get better as you go on.
Absolutely, yeah. I get a lot of athletes actually at my morning classes, softball, basketball, baseball, because balance is a big thing that a lot of people don't realize goes a lot into those sports.
Right.
And so they're like,
for sure,
I need to work on that, for sure. So yeah.
What are some other benefits then to doing yoga? Why would you encourage someone to come in and attend a class?
Absolutely. So a lot of people really obviously know the physical benefits, flexibility, strength, and then there are physical benefits that go unnoticed, and so actually strength being one of them. You can get a really good workout, especially if you go to a hot yoga class or something like that. But otherwise, more importantly, it is a faith-based class, and so whether you don't associate with a certain faith, but you just want a spiritual experience, that's where I originally started, and I since have grown into a faith, and it's been a phenomenal experience. Otherwise, whatever you are established in, you can grow in that by doing a physical practice. And then with that, there's also just mental components, so stress relief, centering yourself, grounding yourself. Again, I like to come and start with an intention, and so then you're here with a purpose, you're living very intentionally, and if nothing else, you're getting through class with a purpose and you have accomplished something for the day. So that's the main goal.
I love that. Okay, I'm going to ask you 2 last questions. That first one is, what's your favorite thing that you've experienced being at SDSU?
My favorite thing at SDSU by far has to be the people. Yes, absolutely. Again, that goes back to starting a club as a freshman. Coming right in as a freshman, I did not realize the amount of opportunities that were going to be here at SDSU, and those come from the people here. And then aside from the opportunities, just being in such a supportive environment, I like to tell people, family, friends, that this is such a friendly competition, and so whatever environment you're in, whatever major it may be, you may be competing with somebody for the same spot or the same job or whatever it is, but that person still wants you to get it as much as they want themselves, and I just think that that's so incredible and unmatched. I just did not know that that's what I was coming into, and I'm so grateful.
Goosebumps. And what's your favorite thing then about Brookings or the community?
Oh, the people. Okay, other than the people. Okay, this is so superficial going off of that, but probably the ice cream is so good. The first thing that came into my mind, just thinking about like the dairy bar and everything, it's so good. I
think every event you go to in the community,
yes, exactly.
the dairy bar and cookies and cream is going to be there.
Yep, I know.
Well, thank you for leading me through some exercises today, get my mind and my body set to take some of these finals and do some of these last presentations.
Definitely.
I hope more people can get connected with the yoga club and come see what all Ava has to offer, because she's great.
Oh, thank you. We'd love to have everyone who wants to come.
What's the ending? How do we say?
So we would end hands to heart center, and we would say, the light and love in me honors the light and love in you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Yes, thank you.